Sure guys, it's Euphonik here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be making an Afro house beat like Shimza, Caiiro, Kususa, Black Coffee, Afro Brothers, all of these Afro house legends, you name them. And we'll be doing this from scratch right here on FL Studio. Likewise, if you're new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to share the video. Otherwise, let's get into it. Okay, so now we are here on FL Studio. The first thing I'm gonna do is take my BPM to 120 and then take my swing to around 30%. This is to make the beat more groovy because it's Afro house. And then we're gonna now start off with building our drum kit. So I'll be using sounds from this folder. So let's start off with the drum kit. I'm gonna start off with a kick. Fill it 4 steps. And then we can move on with our drum kit. I'm gonna add some claps. Right, and then now I will add let's add this sound. So for most of my sounds, I'm gonna give them a reverb and a bit of delay. Let me add a head. Alright, there we go. Take it to track 13. Alright, there we go. So what I'll do next is play around with the stereo. As you can see, the claps and the tambourine are playing together at the same time. So I'm just gonna take the clap to the left and then the tambourine to the right, just to separate them. And also for the kicks, I think it's fine, they can play in mono. And then we have the stomp and the shaker, so I'll separate them just like that. And maybe this shaker and the head, we can separate them as well. So I think now we are done with the drum kit. Let me just switch to the playlist, switch to song mode, and then add the second pattern. This is where we're gonna start adding our sounds. Let me just press play. So the first thing that I do is add a drone note, right? I'll use Purity, try add a string. And this is what I love about Afro house. You don't need to start off with chords. You can just start off with a single note or 2 drone notes. So what we're gonna do is try select a nice note to start off with. Let's just select B. It's just random, so you can pick whatever note works for you. So what I did now is transpose it an octave downward. As you can see, that one is B3. So I take the second note to B2. All right, what I'll do now is send it to the mixer and try remove the low frequencies. Okay, I think that's it. Now we can add a melody. Okay, let's just add a bouncy sound from Nexus. We will add the melody later. Because Nexus has a lot of arpeggios, nice arpeggios. Okay, let's stick with that. I'm gonna open up my piano roll, and then I don't have to do a lot of work. All I do is just paste any B note. It depends on do you want it to sound high or low. Let's try B3. B3 sounds low, so I'm gonna transpose it an octave upward. Still sounding low for me. I'm gonna transpose it another octave upwards. That sounds fine. Now we can add our melody. Let's get citrus is fine. Let's add let's try the arpeggios. Okay, let's stick with that. Okay, these sound low, so I'm going to transpose them an octave upward. Let's try duplicate what we have. I think it sounds fine. Now we can add, let's try add a bass line. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate what I have here, but since it's too high for me, I'm gonna transpose it an octave downward. What we can do is layer it up with maybe an E flute to give it some low ends. Maybe you can also layer it up with maybe a gravity, or let me do this rather. Let me just add a gravity and then add a square envelope. What I'm gonna do is copy what I have on my E flute and then paste it there. But then let me just solo this, mute the E flute. Okay, I think that's a bit of creativity that we just did there. So let me just go with that. So I think now we are good with our bass line so far. So let's add something to layer up the melody with to make it more full. I like using Nexus, the arpeggios on Nexus for my melody. So I'm just going to copy what I have there to my Nexus, reduce the volume, reduce the cutoff as well. I think we have some shakers that are too high. Okay, let's add another bass line. We still need to make this song more lit. Let me add Revity S. But I'm just gonna add a single note. It will just be a simple bass line. Transpose it downward. But then whenever I play this bass line, I have to make sure that these ones are off because they are occupying the same space on the frequency spectrum, so they're gonna sort of interfere with each other. So I have to remove these ones. Okay, so what I've done so far is give you guys a template of a typical Afro house song. It is not yet complete. We still need to work on it, polish it up, add a bit of sounds, add a bit of variation, do some track arrangements, and make it sound more lit, you know. It has to be a lit Afro house song. So what I'll do next is show you guys how you can transform this basic template to a more commercial Afro house beat, like the style of DJ Shimza, Caiiro, Kususa, Afro Brothers, all of these Afro house legends, you name them. So let's see how we can transform that. I'm gonna apply my own magic. You guys can also work on this template, and let's see who comes up with what, you know. Let me show you what I'm gonna do to it. So I've managed to transform the template that we had previously to a more proper Afro house beat. So I'm just gonna press play for you. So that's the bass line that I added. And that's track arrangement. The only sound that I added, which was not previously there on the template, is a bass line, right? This bass line from GMS, I added it. These are the notes I used. I'm just gonna let you listen to how interesting it sounds. It's a simple but yet powerful bass line. Sounds so interesting. And also these notes make it sound more interesting. But then I layered it up with a GMS, another GMS preset, and a Revity S preset to give it that low end. Okay, that's the only sound that I added. Otherwise, everything is automation, right? The first interesting automation that I did, okay, let me not start off with the automation. I'm going to start off with the use of effects on this arrangement, right? Just listen to this part where there's a mini break, and then I'm introducing more drum elements, and then the bass line. So this is the use of effects that I do encourage. It spices up your whole beat. So all of these are effects. They add a lot of spice to the beat. That's one thing that I encourage you do. The next thing that I did, which added more sort of spice to the beat, is this section. Let me just play it for you first. And then there's a mini break. And then there are 3 automation clips here. So I made use of 3 automation clips at the same time over here and a lot of effects. So that's the power of automation clips, right? So what I did is I made a high pass EQ to get rid of the low sounds. Let me just play that part again. So this is the high pass EQ. And then to show you, it's here on my master. Just watch what happens. And then this one is a simple automation that I did to increase the volume of my melody. And yeah, one thing I can add on here about the EQ, if you're gonna automate something that's on the master bus, make sure that you sort of monitor it, because it might sort of ruin your song somewhere during the song if you don't carefully monitor it. So I have to make sure that I take back the EQ down to 0, if that makes sense. Yeah, so that's what I do, or that's what I did.